Good morning, story traders. It's Wednesday, March 1st. We got a new month. We got lots of stocks to talk about. Man, we are killing it day after day after day, and we're going to continue that, God willing, today. First, we're going to look at overall indices. SPY QQQ down slightly. I'm not too bothered by any of this in terms of our trade ideas for today. It's not a big move. I will let you know, China, strong data out on the PMI, purchasing managers index, which indicates strong economic growth out of China, better than expected. And you can see that represented. I put this ETF here, KWEB. It's a Chinese internet ETF. I put that out there so you can kind of see the impact. And if you look up stocks like Lee and Baba, etc., they're all doing really good today. Now, I don't really focus, not my thing. So I'm not going to give any commentary on any of those. So let's head on over to our stocks for the day, and let's see what we can crush today like we've been doing recently. So Tesla and Celsius are two trade ideas that we're carrying over from yesterday, from the beginning of the week, really, on earnings anticipation and event anticipation. Tesla has master plan 3 or 2 or something like that after the close today. It's their investor day. So we're thinking maybe this can continue running. You got resistance now here at 211. Look, the highest it could go, I think, before the event is 220. I'm a little bit of a skeptic in terms of where it goes after this event. You know, if you've been following me, I'm usually a big proponent of selling the news. We modified that a little bit yesterday on LAZR because the news was a long event where we could expect new news. That Tesla's actually kind of similar, right? But the problem is Tesla's right up near its 200 DMA, and the stock is basically doubled. So I'm a skeptic in terms of can it break over 221. So let's just go over the targets today. It's going to be about, I think it was 209 we previously said. Is that here? 209. So like 209, 210, then 215 to 217 range, and then 220. Yeah, I would just say probably maybe a good idea to time this to sell late in the afternoon or towards the close. And, you know, if something great comes out yesterday, which justifies like a major fundamental inflection point, then you can say, okay, well, now it makes sense that the stock would go over the 200 DMA. Remember this 200 DMA and 200 week moving average. These lines basically are representing the fundamentals of the company. If you're below it, the market is long-term bear on the fundamentals of the company, and not just the company, but the combination of the company and the macro. And if you're above it, it's long-term bull. So that's why, you know, we anticipated, for example, last week that LAZR would break above the 200 DMA because that news was important enough to be a fundamental inflection point for the company. So you can anticipate that the technical inflection point would break as well. So here at Tesla, as we near 220, I just think, just be careful up here. Time to take a little bit off the table, probably as we approach that event. Maybe the peak is going to be in after hours during the event, just as we said with LAZR last night. Maybe the peak is tomorrow morning pre-market, after the event. But really, I think the odds are we sell off after that, unless it's something huge and unanticipated, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not something I'm willing to bet on. I'd rather sell right before the event, after hours, or pre-market tomorrow. I think that's where you're going to get the peak, and hopefully that can triangulate with some of those technical resistance levels we gave you on Tesla. Now, Celsius has earnings tonight. We called this yesterday with a $95 target the day before the event because they also had a price target increase. One of the analysts came out, increased from 110 to 120. So it had that jump yesterday. I think it could do it again today. Now, some people may be thinking, oh, we failed 95. Why should I try again? But FOMO is a very strong thing. So I think we could, as we dip right below that, as I'm saying that, but it's pre-market 200 DMA right here. But I think the target here for today is actually, I said 94.50, but looking at it now, it looks more like 94. That 20 DMA dropped like $1, 94.30, something like that. So that's the target on Celsius for today, 94.14 actually. If you can find where that is, you can look it up on some different softwares that actually tell you the precise chart. I have to kind of guess what it is by looking at the line. So right around 94 is where the target is for Celsius. A few other trade ideas for the day. Twilio, who brought this to our attention? Was it Julian? I forgot who it was that mentioned there was a big insider buy. Now, this is something that we've been monitoring. We played on the day of earnings because the earnings beat did really well. It was a one-day trade for us, and I guess that was the right decision. But it pulled back to the 20 DMA and bounced off the 20 DMA for 2 days. Then you get this massive insider buy, and I think that this is a good combination of like story trading pillars, right? Where you have the technical support, bouncing off technical support. You have fundamental tailwinds of a recent earnings beat. You have a catalyst of the news just being coming out that the insider bought. And obviously the sentiment that goes along with that type of catalyst is very good. So I think this is a great convergence of the 4 pillars. And the target for me here on Twilio is at the 200 DMA, 71.44. This is more of a swing play, right? Different than like those earnings re-ratings plays that you can anticipate happen same day. I'm not anticipating that, although you never know. But this is something that could take a couple days to reach, or maybe more to reach that 200 DMA there. Twilio, good story trade idea. Thank you for whoever brought it up. I don't remember exactly who it was. Blink had earnings, and this one I've been following since they amazement, and thankfully I've avoided it. But I finally got in last night. I forgot what price, like maybe 930, no, 950. I think around 950 actually. Yeah, I finally got in last night right around this price, and actually added a little bit more this morning after going through the conference call transcript. And look, they beat. So let me see if they have the level of the beat here. No, there's a revenue beat. Also the top, I think it was a top and bottom line beat, but they're not profitable yet. So you can't really do these re-rating plays on non-profitable companies. The formula only works on profitable companies. So this is not something where you can do a calculation and say it's worth this, right? But they did beat, which is good for sentiment. I went through the conference call transcript, and I think it was generally pretty positive. They have enough cash now through 2024. And they're anticipating they're going to continue to get funding from the government, non-dilutive funding from the government sources and government programs after that. So all of that is great. And then we have H.C. Wainwright coming out, maintaining a $50 price target. So basically, because of these confluence of pillars I just talked about, I think that maybe you can anticipate that the bottom for now is in, and you're going to make a move to the 20 DMA at $11. And this, again, is a swing play that could take a few days or more to reach that 20 DMA resistance. Again, not anticipating a rapid re-rating here either. So Blink, another swing trade to the 20 DMA. All right, now we have CYH, another great story trade idea with a confluence of factors. Thank you, Chris, for putting this stock on our radar. We've been monitoring it, been noticing it's been pulling back to the 20 DMA after a great earnings report. Now, this stock looks really cheap if you look at the earnings report. But the reason it's really cheap is because they have a lot of debt, as Chris has been bringing up. And now it's retracted to the 20 DMA, and they had some news last night. The news was they're selling some assets for, what was it, 250 or 350? $320 million, all right? So they're selling some assets for $320 million, and sentiment-wise, that's good when your problem is debt, right? Because if they didn't have any debt, this stock would probably be like $20, $30, right? So cash helps the debt situation. That's good for sentiment. You bounce off the 20 DMA. So I think there's a trade in here for today. Now levels, a little bit tough. I would just go by like the 650 and then 7, like kind of these whole number psychological levels. Again, 7 is very clear on the chart, but like 650, also a little bit, you see that right there. You see that gap down, that's resistance. So 650 and then 7 are your 2 levels on CYH. I'm not going to try to be hero on this. Maybe 650 if it reaches there, a good spot to take some off the table. Could be a good trading stock today with that news. If you can like buy the dips after that or whatever it may be. But these are all great story trading ideas so far with multiple pillars. ANIX, I just want to note this. Dan Carlson was on our show yesterday telling us about TFFP. And at the end, he threw out another name. I think you guys should check out ANIX, ANIX. There's good stuff coming. Positive. The CEO said there's positive data coming. And then a couple hours later, he sent me a YouTube link of something that was released that same morning. I don't know if it was like in the pre-market or when. Like, I don't know if he got that nugget from the YouTube. But I listened to the YouTube and I shared it in the community, and it's in our app too. It's storytrading.com/app. If you pull up ANIX, you'll see the link to the YouTube. It's like a short 6-minute powerful video from the CEO, which really convinced me. I thought, well, this looks like a really good risk reward here, sitting here at these confluence of these three moving averages, and the CEO saying there's going to be good data coming out in mid-April on the breast cancer vaccine, on this little biotech, 136 million market cap. And what I like, he also talked a lot about cash flow and how other companies, in the biotech space, like, don't do well because they always do like terrible financing deals. And it's like, that's not the case with us. We're really smart about our money. And the chart backs that up. You can tell just by looking at this chart, they have not done bad dilutive deals. So this CEO knew what to say, said the right things. Historically, he's doing the right things, anticipating great data mid-April, breast cancer vaccine. If that does happen, you could envision the stock, going up a lot on the day that news comes out. So I did buy after I saw that YouTube video, and I did notice there was strong resistance at 450, big asks, and people are chipping away at 450 at the large ask yesterday. So that's going to be interesting. A little bit excited to see people maybe continue chomping away at that 450 wall, because if you break that, I think you can make a quick move, like maybe in a matter of seconds, to 475 if 450 breaks, and then you have 5 resistance on this. So definitely, you could make some quick money on this as that YouTube video goes around and people are anticipating. But the big money could be mid-April if they do come through and deliver the goods on their breast cancer vaccine on the data there. See if we can get into E-Trade here, so give you a better chart. Oops, don't look at that. All right, try Face ID again. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. AMLI, let's see if I can look up AMLI. AMLI. Because TD Ameritrade does not give me a chart on this for some reason. Really, really annoying. So they had news here. Analysts came out, initiated coverage, $5 price target. And we love this because it's lithium and uranium. And we're waiting for the day that they put out a press release and said, here's the date for the uranium spinoff. That's going to be like a 40% move that day. Right. So we're waiting for all that. Meantime, we get a $5 price target out, trying to pull up, see if there's any obvious targets there. 290 is resistance. So it's sitting at resistance right now. Man, these charts are terrible. Really going to miss TD Ameritrade. It's going to be a travesty when they shut that app down. Really bad news. I mean, you can't even control this crosshair well on this chart. It's ridiculous. All right. So 289, you're at resistance right here. The question is, can we break through that resistance and then move to that next level of 319? I cannot control this chart. TD, what are you doing? Charles Schwab, stupid, man. Stupid shutting down that app. We'll have to try to replicate that in StoryTrading. But anyway, man, our morning show is going to suck when they when they shut down the TD app. But anyway, 20 DMA there at 320. I think 3, you got some resistance at 3 first. And then 320. All right, I'm sick of this app. Let's get out of here. All right. Anyway, also, we got some news on YEXT and SKYT. Not news, I'm sorry. We've been monitoring this. We have what we have is outperformance yesterday ahead of the markets. Markets are still below the 20 DMA. YEXT and SKYT both pulled a move seemingly out of nowhere. There were catalysts. It was not seemingly out of nowhere, right? We're story traders. We believe the market's efficient, and there's a reason for all major price movements. And there was. The SKYT CEO was on CNBC, or one of the financial channels yesterday, right around here at 1175. And man, I've been monitoring this, but because it was below the 20 DMA, I wasn't impressed. I was like, maybe we can get 11, maybe we can get 10. So I didn't jump back in. I do own some of my IRA, so that's good. But SKYT, after he made that appearance, that was a catalyst to get the stock back above the 20 DMA. We did cover the earnings, and the earnings were really good here. Nice little company with a big earnings beat. So now that it's over the 20 DMA, could it continue? Maybe. I don't have a specific price target or prediction for you for today, but interesting to see that back in a bull area. YEXT, similar, above the 20 DMA on seemingly no news, but there was news, or at least there's event anticipation. They have earnings on March 7th, and then after the close, they announced Investor Day on April 4th. So I don't know if some people had a leak on that there's going to be Investor Day or there's going to be good news. Sometimes that stuff can leak, and management can tell people, oh, we're going to do an investor day, after earnings. We're going to have lots of good news coming out. Maybe that's what went around and caused the stock to go up yesterday. So, and now it's back over the 20 DMA. So two similar stories in YEXT and SKYT, with these stocks making strong moves over the 20 DMA, stocks that we like. All right, I have a couple other here. Can we see continuation in ASUR software and HIMS today? And I think we can, but the second day moves are not as easy as the first day moves, right? So these are not as high conviction for me today in terms of playing these. I could just tell you that dips are buyable. You can say that, right? You can say if ASUR goes to like 1250 or below 13, maybe there's an opportunity in there based on the strong fundamentals of the report yesterday. Similar strategy with HIMS, right? If this drops to like 11, 12, and then 11 support, right? You can say, okay, the dips are going to be buyable because of the strong fundamentals, and then maybe get a second day of continuation in both of these stocks. That's a way to play ASUR and HIMS. And by the way, these companies could be really good long-term investments. One of the great things about story trading is we look at 4 pillars, right? Unlike technical traders, we're also looking at fundamentals, and we look at sentiment and catalysts. So because we look at fundamentals, a large majority of the stocks that we're bringing to you are solid companies with good fundamentals. It could be good long-term investments. And we're telling you about them at inflection points because we're looking at the news feeds. So, stocks like SkyT and ASUR and HIMS and YEXT, these are all potentially really good long-term holdings for your IRA. And I own some of these in my IRA. I own SkyT. I own ASUR. I'm not sure if I own YEXT right now, but HIMS is something that could be worth looking into if you're a fundamental investor. So if you're a fundamental investor and you're part of our community, take the cues, take these catalysts, do your research on this, and then also share it with the community. We'd love to hear your perspective on like fair fundamental value. It helps us become better traders as well, and also can help people allocate for the long-term holdings. All right, moving on to LAZR, Luminar Technology. In the afternoon, in the morning, in fact, I called 950 as the target, and I sold at 947 for the most part. I did get a little bit on the pullback. I bought 25% back at like 906, 907, and then when the news came out that earnings are bad, I just bailed, and I'm like, let me get out for good for now, right? For my trading positions. I no longer have a trading position. I think I bought it like 907 that tranche and sold at 880 or something. So I mean, it's gone on a massive run. Market's a little bit disappointed on guidance for 2023. An analyst came out and said $8 price target. So it's not like it's not like the analysts are running out and giving $15 price targets right now. So I'm like, give this thing a chance to breathe. Maybe it comes back to the 200 DMA at 750. You got some support here at like 830 as well. So I'm just watching this, and depending on the price action, depending what other opportunities come our way, maybe or maybe not will I take that at those support levels, but something worth watching. LLAP has been a disappointment, as you know. Today at 4:30, we'll do our post-market wrap at 4 p.m., but then we'll jump on Zoom at 4:30 for a session that's not going to go on YouTube with our community, with Julian and Sanjay, and we're going to debate LLAP. And yes, Celsius earnings are coming out, Tesla event, so we'll see if we can monitor those on the side as well during this meeting. But let's have that debate. Let's talk about, this is basically the only call that we've gotten wrong in the past 10 days on story trading, like crazy. Like out of our morning calls, like this is the only one that didn't break the 325 like I thought it would. So we'll have to see. Don't have time now to go through all the bear and bull theses on that, but we'll talk about it at 4:30 p.m. today. And with that, Vegas is not going to be joining us today. We're adjusting the schedule with her. She's probably going to join us like once a week or maybe twice a week. So we'll let you know on the schedule on that. And let me just see if there's any news from 9 a.m. here since we started our show. Remember, we caught SMSI, and hopefully a lot of people save money because we're looking at our news flow at the end of the show. So, all right, since actually let's call it 8:55 since I got on here and start setting up. All right, so Verizon, Hertz, HIMS maintained to outperform at Credit Suisse. I'm interested in seeing the price target on HIMS. Let's just take a quick look at that. Price target on HIMS, 24% upside, raised from 8 to 14. So that's interesting. We're at 11 now. Okay, so you can add that as a potential catalyst to what we just talked about. Maybe that's good on pullbacks, is what we just talked about. All right, some Google news. Okay, That's it, guys. So we'll see you at 4 o'clock, and then we'll see you at 4:30 to talk LLAP. Everyone have a great day. And if you're watching this replay on YouTube, you've missed out on all the gains already. So hop on over to storytrading.com/app to download our app for free. Lots of free features there. And if you want access to our live programming and our live shows, you can get a free trial as well for a week. We'll see you later, guys. Have a great day.